Hey everybody, we are live. Welcome to another edition of Boston Straight Shooters. I'm your host for this evening, Steve, aka Negative Ned. This is the show we talk about Boston sports. We talk about the Red Sox, the Bruins, the Patriots, and the Celtics. Get you guys all caught up to speed on the goings on for the week. I apologize for the lateness. I ran into a technical issue that I wasn't expecting. It threw me all off. So bear with me while I try to post the link so you guys can join the show. And then we'll get started. We're going to start with, of course, the Bruins. The Bruins last week, they, let's see, they had 3 games last week. They went 2-1. They beat Seattle 4-2. They beat Chicago 5-2, and they lost to Dallas 6-2. And they're playing the Vegas Golden Knights tonight, right now, and they are up 3-0 at the end of the first period. Really good first period. We'll get to a little bit of that later on. I want to go back and touch on what they did against Seattle. Seattle's a playoff team. They're in the second wild card, so they're good this year. The Bruins, they scored early in the game, 54 seconds in. Hustadinov scored. He's really been playing well with Pastrnak. They got some chemistry going on there. And Arvidsson scored just before the 4-minute mark to make it 2-0. So it's good to see him get out to a lead and get a jump. They scored. They were 2 for 4 on the power play. They outshot the Kraken 28-24, which is good too, because the games they, get outshot, sometimes it looks like they're not really doing anything, and other times it does. They gave up a power play goal to make it 2-1. The penalties that they've been taking continue to hurt them. They're the most penalized team in the league, and they got to find a way to curtail that and dial it back a little. Later on in the second period, Mark Kastelik scored to make it 3-1. He had a post earlier in that game. He was all over the place. Good to see him get rewarded with a shorthanded goal there. And he's a guy that drops the gloves and fights. So it's kind of good to see him be on the other end of the goal scoring there. Seattle scored on the power play later on a Tanner Jeannot slashing penalty. Again, not good. Taking all these penalties is not good. It cost them, but they're up 3-2 at the end of 2 periods. And Pastrnak got an empty net goal with 15 seconds left on the power play. His 20th of the year. Jeremy Swayman stopped 26 of 28 shots. Good solid win against a team that's a playoff team. So they're not better than you. I think they're only like 4 games over 500. You're like 7 or 8 games over 500. So I mean, pretty close. But that's a team that beat you when you went out there. So you get the revenge factor a little bit. Moving on to Chicago on Saturday night, last Saturday. It was a tight game for a little bit. The Bruins fell behind 2-0 in the first period. Too many mistakes in their own end as usual. Too much running around. But they turned it around in the second period. They carried the play. They got 3 goals in the period, including one in the last minute from Victor Arvidsson. Again, as I've mentioned before, because I beat the Bruins up a gazillion times for allowing goals in the last minute. They actually got one, so it feels good to be on the other end of that. Arvidsson scored. It's his second goal in 2 games. He's got He's got 11 goals this year, I think, or 12 goals, considering the time that he's missed. He would be on pace for 20 plus goals if he had been healthy for the whole year. So they're getting some production out of him after a slow start. Let's see. Mason Lohrei scored 2 goals. He scored on the power play to put the Bruins up 4-2. That was just a snipe from inside the blue line there. He's got some skills, that kid, and it's good to see him having a better year this year than he had last year with his plus minus. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it's not minus 44. I can tell you that right now. That was brutal. That was a killer for him. And then Houston Nedoff scored 2 minutes later to make it 5-2. So again, he's got 2 goals within 2 games. He's got, I want to say he's got double digits now. He might have 9, 10, 11. He's in that range somewhere. So it's good to see him get an opportunity to. It's good to see the young guys get an opportunity to make a difference, and they need that because of the lack of talent that they have on the roster. So good to see. In this particular game, only 1 penalty per side, which is a shock to me considering how many penalties the Bruins get. Looks like the refs let them play a little bit. And Korpisalo was in net. He stopped 22 of 24 shots. That game was, up and down for the most part, tight checking. I mean, the Bruins got off to a slow start, but to see them be able to turn it around. And Chicago's not good. They're rebuilding still. If they're not in last place, they're in second to last place. They're near the bottom of their division, I think, somewhere. But they're growing. They have talent. Connor Bedard, he's one of the next future stars in this league. You got old friend Ryan Donato out there. He had 30-plus goals last year, I think. I don't know what he has now. I forgot to look. But, listen, to come back from a 2-0 deficit is encouraging. I will say that again, just because typically that doesn't bode well when you're behind like that. So it was a good game. Good to get W in that game. They needed it. And then the other night, a couple nights ago, they played in Dallas. They got waxed 6-2. It wasn't even close. They were behind 6-0. They got 2 goals in the third period. 4-0 after 2. I think it was 3-0. I dozed off. I was like, they're going to get killed. So I didn't stay awake to watch. It was a late start. And you can just see the disparity in the talent. I found a comment from Twitter. This game feels like one of those reality checks that snaps people back into proper expectations. We all love how the Bruins have battled all season. This game illustrates how thin their margin for error is when the skill gap gets big. Sorry, tongue twister there. And so when they play elite teams like this, and listen, they beat Colorado and they beat Edmonton. So that point is valid to an extent. When the skill gap gets big, it is going to be difficult for the Bruins to win games, but they've beaten teams with more skill. I mean, they beat Edmonton 6-2. They beat Colorado. So I'm not saying that the skill gap isn't a factor. In this particular case, for sure. And Dallas is playing on their home ice. And they have a good team. They're second to Colorado in the division and in the conference. For a little while, Colorado was on pace to break the Bruins record. They only had 2 regulation losses. Since that time, I think they've got 5 more regulation losses, so they have 7 losses overall. So I don't know that record is going to be intact, so to speak, anymore. But they're beating good teams, and they're against Dallas. They're just outmatched. They got a lot of talent there, and they got a lot of goal scoring, and they're just, the Bruins just didn't stand a chance. And again, Swayman in net allows 6 goals before he got pulled. I'm assuming in the third period, somewhere along the line. Uh, you know, I don't know what it is with them losing with him in these games like this, 6-2, 7-2, and he's not having a bad year overall. His numbers: he's 19, 12, and 2 with a 2.88 goals against average. If you take that and throw that away, his goals against average is probably 2.7 something. He's been solid for the most part, but I still can't. I don't have an explanation for these games. And it could be a coincidence. It could be a coincidence that, he's just victimized by the talent gap. And you know what? Part of it is their effort. They looked a little bit out of sorts in that game. So we'll see what happens. Again, as I mentioned at the top of the show, the Bruins are beating Vegas right now, 3-0 at the end of the first. That's the last update that I had. Danny says hoping for Castlick to get a chance to fight again tonight. Yeah, he had he made a great body check on somebody on a forecheck, knocked the guy down to the ice, and somebody on Vegas wasn't happy with that and went after him for a fight. The guy's name is escaping me. He's a former Bruin. Danny, help me out if you know who he is. But Castlick, landed a solid punch, and then he lost his balance. So it wasn't really much of a fight, but he did clock him, whoever it is. And I agree. I think that could get chippy. It got chippy, and it got chippy at the end of the period. Somebody hit Geeky, and they had a little scrum right before the period ended. So it'll be curious to see if there's any more fisticuffs or any more scrums. I'm sure it will be. Usually when you're behind 3-0, something has to light a fire under your ass. I don't know if Vegas is going to pull the goalie or not. They did not after the third goal, and the Bruins got 3 goals in 54 seconds. That's quick. That's super quick. I'm not sure if the first one was on the power play or not. McAvoy scored the first goal. The second goal I know was on the power play. Well, one of them was on the power play. One of those last 3 goals. They had sweet passing on the last goal to Lindholm in the middle for the third goal. So the power play is cranking still. I mean, the power play is still 5th in the league at 25.5%. So a complete 180 from last year when they were near the bottom. I think they were 29th or something with 15%. And the guy that they hired as the assistant coach to work the power play, Steve Spott, he's done a good job. And I'd like to see it continue, hopefully. Morgan Geeky got a goal. Which game did he get a goal in? Sorry, it wasn't this game. It was the Dallas game. Geeky finally got a goal in the Dallas game on the power play after not scoring for like 11 or 12 games in a row. And I'm sorry to jump back, but this I meant to mention this before. This is Morgan Geeky's 26th goal. I think he's still 5th in goals after the drought. Fraser Minton got his 12th goal. He's got 7 goals in his last 9 games. He's on pace for a 19-20 goal season. Pretty darn good for a rookie on the third line. He's got some speed. He can shoot. The trade that they made, trading Carlo to get him. Great move. So for as much as we want to croak Don Sweeney for some of the other moves, I think that was a great move. Danny, 4-0 now in ice. 4-0 Bruins. Let's see if they can keep it, hold it together. Vegas is in first place in their division. And again, I don't like the overtime loss thing. I think it's misleading. They have 12 regulation losses and 12 overtime losses. So technically, their record is 24-24. They would be 500 if the scoring went the way I wanted it to be scored, which is you don't get 1 point after regulation, you get nothing, and you get 2 points for a win, you get 0 for a loss. Goes into overtime, and I do kind of want to say this is a rant I've had before, and I'm going to rant on it again. There's only a handful of teams that have like 2 or 4 overtime losses. There's a lot of teams already in double digits with the overtime loss thing. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like the way they score it. I think it should be 0 after 60 minutes. It's zeros, 2 zeros. You get no points, and then if you win in overtime, you get the 2. And forget the shootout. I want to see them change it to 10 minutes for 3-on-3. And if nobody wins, then nobody gets any points. You get nothing. You can call it a tie. You can do whatever you want, but somebody has to win. That's just my mini rant there for a minute. I do want to touch on a rumored trade the Bruins were rumored to be involved with. They were rumored to be involved in a trade for Calgary defenseman Rasmus Anderson, but the price tag was way too high. They wanted Mason Lohrei, Matthew Poitras, and one of the Bruins' 4 first-round picks over the next couple of years. And I'm sorry, that's way too high of a price for a guy that's 29 years old, and you have to sign him to an extension. And what are you going to do? You're going to sign that guy for like 6 years, $6 million a year? Those are not the kind of deals you make and give up young talent like that. If you're going to give up those guys on a first-round pick, you got to get a goal scorer, and I mean like a 30-40 goal scorer. Not, or if it's a defenseman, it's got to be an elite defenseman. That guy's probably a number 2 or 3 defense. I'm not saying he's not good, but he's not worth that price. That's insane. I would never do that. So I'm glad they missed out. He ended up getting traded to I want to say Vegas. I want to say he ended up on Vegas. They were in on him, so better them than us. I don't remember what they gave up. It was not just like one guy or whatever. It was a few. There was a couple players and some picks. But I didn't want the Bruins to do that. Mason Lohrei is a good young talent. I think last year he got victimized by McAvoy was hurt the whole second half of the year last year after the Olympics, after the World Cup there, whatever the hell that tournament was called. And I think that really hurt him a lot. He's having a much better year. I also want to touch on real quick. They also, for some strange reason, signed Alex Steves to a 2-year extension for $3.25 million. It carries a $1.625 million cap hit for the next 2 years. I like him, but I like him, and I wanted them to put him on the roster at the very beginning of the year, but he hasn't scored a goal in 10 games. And my question is, what's the rush? Why rush to do this now? Now you're stuck with this guy for 2 years, and if he doesn't score goals, what are you going to do with him? You're going to send him back to Providence? That's going to kind of suck. So I don't get the logic there. I don't know what the thought process was. They basically doubled his salary. I think his salary this year is only $800 and something thousand. I think I'll have to look it up. But I don't know. I don't get it. All right. 4-0 Bruins. Keep going, and let's see what happens. And right now the Bruins are still in the second wild card spot. They have like one of other teams that are behind them have like 1 or 2 games in hand. So again, it's going to be a game of leapfrog for a while with everybody jostling each other around. They're in 5th place in the division. And the games they have coming up this week, they have Vegas tonight. They have Montreal on Saturday. They're at the Rangers on Monday, and then they play Nashville Tuesday at home. And so again, they have another stretch where they have 4 games in 5 days. I'm sorry, 4 games in 6 days. that's a tight squeeze. You got Saturday, Sunday off, game Monday, game Tuesday, 3 games in 4 days. This schedule is going to catch them. So we'll see what happens. I mean, they're off to a good start after having their 6-game win streak snapped by Dallas the other night. Now they get a chance to keep it rolling. So they're 6-1 in their last 7 games. Hopefully, it'll be 7 out of 8, and we'll see what happens. Let's move on to the New England Patriots. Let's move on to the Patriots. I should probably do this right here. The New England Patriots won Sunday. They beat the Houston Texans 28-16. It was a fairly close game for a while. A little sloppy by the Patriots. Too many turnovers. Fumbles and so forth. Let me get to the 3 takeaways first that me and Frank usually do. Where are I? All right, so my top takeaways: the Patriots' defense was dominating. For all the talk about how good Houston's defense was coming into the game, and their defense is good. They're a top 2 or 3 defense easily. This is probably the best defense that the Patriots have faced, but the Patriots' defense, in return, answered the bell, and they really did a number on Houston. I'm pretty sure, listening to some of the comments after the game and over the course of the last week, they took it personal. I forget who said it, but there were some comments, all we've been hearing about is Houston defense. What about us? So kudos to those guys. It definitely makes a difference when you have a healthy Milton Williams and Robert Spillane and Kairos Tonga and Ellis, the linebacker. Like, when you have all your guys, it really, really makes a big difference. You can tell the difference when everybody's in there and when they're not. And so kudos to them. They did a good job. My number 2 takeaway, Drake May with the fumbles. Dude, you got to do something about that. Excuse me. You got to do something about the fumbling, dude. 4 fumbles, lost 2 of them. Can't have it. He threw an interception that was, it was kind of a bad pick, but kind of not, because it put him deep in their own territory. But the fumbling is definitely an issue. You turn the ball over 5 times like that. Well, they put it on the ground 4 times. So they had 3 turnovers. That you can't have turnovers like that. Now, on the other side, the Patriots defense made C.J. Stroud look, ordinary, like an average quarterback. And he's a talented kid. I know that he has regressed a little bit over the last couple of years from when he first came out in his first year when he was lights out. But, he's got a cannon for an arm. He's got running ability. He's talented, so you can't take him lightly at all. The Patriots obviously did not take him lightly, and they did a number on him. My number 3 takeaway is they made key plays on offense when they needed them. That touchdown down the sideline to Kayshon Boutte, I forget how many yards it was. I don't know, 39 yards, 29 yards, I forget. But, I didn't realize until I saw a clip like yesterday or the day before. Somebody on the Patriots bench, and I don't remember who it was now, said, hey, Boutte beat that guy last year in the game, same play, right down the sideline. So they went to it again against the same guy, and I want to say it was Derek Stingley Jr., whose grandfather played for the Patriots, Darryl Stingley. And without getting into too much of a history lesson here, He was a wide receiver for the Patriots in the 70s, and during a game against the Raiders, one of their guys hit him and paralyzed him. So he never played again. But, his grandson's out there. He's a Pro Bowl caliber cornerback. And for Keyshawn Boutte to beat him last year and this year on the same exact play twice, that says a lot about the rapport that Drake May has with Booty. I'm gonna call him Booty now because Boutte I can't. Sorry, I can't. I'm calling him Booty. Sorry, Keyshawn. But as is typical sometimes with these receivers, the Patriots have not really had very good luck over the last, I don't know how many years that Belichick was here drafting wide receivers. Last year, they took two guys that aren't here anymore. And this is his third year, and he's really had a good year. And I hope he stays for a little while. Him and Drake seem to have a thing going on. It's good to see the Patriots have a deep threat. And listen, I think that Kyle Williams also is a guy that in spots can be a guy like that. He didn't have any catches in the game, I don't think, or whatever. But he has the speed to stretch the defense, and he's a rookie. So give him some time. Maybe there's something there. But that play, the touchdown pass to Stephon Diggs that they made, where he caught the ball and tucked it above the ground before tumbling over and getting hit. That was a big play. And when I say key plays on offense, what I mean also too is late in the game. I want to say somewhere around the 9-minute mark, and I have my notes here, so I'll look it up. They had a drive where they ran the ball consecutively with Stevenson breaking off 8-yard runs and chewing up some clock. And so that was encouraging. Those are the. I don't think it resulted in any points, but it took enough time off the clock that it was still a 2-score game, and they couldn't do anything about it. Let me just go to my notes here while we do the recap of this game. Again, both teams on their first drives didn't really do anything. I think it was a feeling out process a little bit. So both teams punted, but on the Patriots' second drive, they started on their own 34. Stevenson makes a huge run for 20 yards, gets a first down, and then they get some passes to Henderson. Diggs, I'm sorry. So I'm looking at my notes here. Forgive me. So they had a 3rd and 14. They passed to Diggs for 13 yards, and it was 4th and 1 to Texans 28, and they went for it. And he hits Pop Douglas for a touchdown. That was huge. Great play, great call to put the Patriots up 7-0. And that's how we need them to start. And so, again, encouraging where the Patriots were giving up touchdowns on the opening drives for I don't know how many weeks in a row we were talking about it here. And over the last 3 or 4 weeks now, they've stopped the other team from getting points on the opening drive. That's huge, and allow the Patriots offense to take over and go up 7-0. It's obviously easier to play when you're ahead, and have it in your favor. The Texans themselves on their next drive, they had a pass was almost picked by Carlton Davis. It was incomplete. And then they made a huge play to Dalton Schultz, the tight end, for 42 yards. That set up a 1st and 10 from the Patriots 27. Another pass was almost deflected. They make a pass on 3rd and 6. There's a face mask penalty on Davis. And it's the 15-yard kind. So they get half the distance to the goal, and they're at the 7-yard line. And they end up getting it in. They don't get it in. They end up settling. Patriots defense stops them. they actually ended up getting in the. They ended up, it was at the 2-yard line. They ran it for a touchdown, but there was a flag on the play for an illegal shift on the offense, and it got called back, and they had to settle for a field goal. So a little bit of luck there, and all good teams that win need some kind of luck. So that was good for the Patriots to get that there. Patriots next drive. This is where May had one of his fumbles. There was a pass tipped to the line of scrimmage, incomplete. It's 3rd and 10. May gets hit. He fumbles the ball. It was recovered by Will Campbell, luckily. So they lost 19 yards, and it was 4th and 29. They had to punt away, which gave the Texans the ball at their own 11. At the past 47. I'm sorry. So at the past 47-yard line, and it's 3rd and 10, and they blitz, and pass on blitz to Higgins, 9 yards. So there was a blitz, and they actually completed the pass for 9 yards on that play. They did get a first down on that drive, but then pass was picked off by Carlton Davis, and that was one of the turnovers by C.J. Stroud there. Good play by Davis. Patriots next drive. They're at their own 18-yard line. They run it for 5 yards. It's 3rd and 5 at your own 20-something yard line. Then May fumbled and lost the ball, and the Texans recovered. And then so on their ensuing drive, they got a touchdown. So they go up 10-7 just after the first quarter ends. Not good. Patriots get the ball. No first downs. They did. They got one first down, but then they had to punt. They couldn't move the ball the way they wanted. And on the Texans' next drive, on the ensuing play, it was 1st and 10. The pass was deflected and returned by Marcus Jones for a TD. That was a huge play. That was a play I failed to mention earlier. So we watched the previous week when Houston played Pittsburgh. They got 2 defensive touchdowns, and the Patriots basically turned the tables on them and got a touchdown of their own. Marcus Jones is he's kind of like a Swiss Army knife, that guy. I like him a lot. He's all over the place. He's got speed. He can catch the ball. He can break plays up. For a guy that's a little bit undersized, I think his speed helps him a lot. And so, listen, having him back there, is good. I mean, he's just phenomenal. And I can see why they tried to extend him. So they pick it off. They go in for the TD. Due to Milton Williams' pass rush, that was a note that I had here. Milton Williams rushed the pocket there and forced the bad pass, forced it to get deflected. On the next drive, when the Texans got the ball back, they made a completion on a blitz for 12 yards and got a first down. And then they ran for a loss of 1, and then the Patriots held them. And then on the next play, pass got deflected and picked off again. So they pick them off. The Patriots go 3 and out. Unfortunately, good field position, ball in their own 48, can't move the ball. Texans get it, same thing. Patriots defense holds them. They have to punt. Patriots next drive. Another pass to Butte for 25 yards and get a first down from their own 45. They get to the Texans 28. They get a couple first downs, and it's 1st and goal from the Texans 7, and that's where Drake May hit Diggs in the end zone for another touchdown. The Patriots up 21-10 on one of the best defensive teams in the league, and I don't think you could ask for any better start in the first half to the game, other than fumbling the ball. Texans' next drive, they start at their own 23. They have a long second and 15 due to a false start penalty, and then they throw it long, and there's a pass interference on Carlton Davis, and it's a spot foul. So, they get 1st and 10 from their own 39. And after a couple more plays, they make a pass to Higgins for 16 yards and get the 2-minute warning. Right after the 2-minute warning, another pass picked by Carlton Davis. Really good play. I think this is the one on the sideline where he kept his feet in. So, listen, for the penalties that he takes, and I don't think we've really mentioned him a lot here, being negative, so to speak. But I know in sports radio they pick on him once in a while. But that's just the way he is. He's kind of he's a hit or miss a little bit. And today, that day he was a hit. Again, he's aggressive. Some of the penalties you can question. The face mask one you can't. The pass interference, I think he grabbed the guy's arm. I think everybody knows if you wanted to call holding on every play, you could. So they have to let the guys play a little bit. But in this particular case, he made a break on the ball, picked him off. Patriots get it. They don't really do anything. They punt. So there's some back and forth here pretty quick. Some pretty quick 3-and-outs within the 2 minutes. And Marcus Jones returns the ball to the Texans' 45-yard line, and then freaking Drake May fumbled the ball. Luckily, it was recovered by Morgan Moses. So it's late. It's late, and there's a pass in the end zone with 2 seconds left, intercepted. So that's the one where I was like, look, it didn't hurt him. So when they have interceptions like that late in the quarter, that doesn't hurt you, I guess you can live with it, But the fumbling is inexcusable. He's got to do a better job protecting the football. And he was doing good for a while. Early in the year, the first couple games, had the fumbleitis, cleaned it up a lot. And now the last couple games, man, when you have better defenses coming after you, you got to do a better job. You got to figure it out, especially in Mile High. It's noisy. And their defense is good. They'll be coming after you. So, hopefully they can fix that. So the Patriots go into the half with a 21-10 lead. They come out. Texans' first drive. They drive down. They get a field goal. It's 21-13. Patriots' next drive from their own 31, Will Anderson Jr. forces May to fumble. He beat Will Campbell on the edge. I don't remember if May saw him coming or not, but I think that's the one where it looked like he was trying to throw the ball and didn't see it. And so that particular one, I guess you really can't blame Drake. So I would have fought Will Campbell there. And again, we're not going to beat up Will Campbell. I like him. He's good. When you're going up against elite guys, you got to take your lumps, and so that's kind of what that is. Their pass rushes are really good. So they get to Drake, but the defense holds them. Actually, no, I apologize. The Patriots got the ball back. They had a 3-and-out punt. So the Patriots offense stalling a little bit. Texans get the next drive at their own 40. They do make some noise and get further down the field, but the Patriots defense forced them to a field goal. So they held them. And now it's 21-16. And end of the third quarter. And so I think on the next drive, the Patriots tried to do something a little different. They rolled Drake May out to the right, and he hit Austin Hooper for a 13-yard gain. I think they're going to have to do some more of that. I think they got to get a little creative, and we'll talk about that when we cover the Denver game shortly. But the Patriots are up 21-16 at the end of the third. This is where the fourth quarter starts. The drive is continued. There was a 3rd and 8, and on a pass to Booty, he got grabbed. It was a spot foul, and they get the ball at the Texans 38. Patriots run the ball a couple times. It's 3rd and 5. This is where pass it to Booty for the awesome one-handed grab in the end zone. Phenomenal play. Happy to see it. Texans next drive. So Patriots up 28-16. Texans next drive, they're forced to punt. The tight end, Stover, goes out with a knee injury. He got his foot stuck in the turf. This is where the Patriots get the ball back, and this is where they had all those runs. Stevenson 8 yards, Stevenson 4 yards, first down. Stevenson 8 yards, Stevenson 3 yards, first down. Henderson 6 yards. Henderson run for a loss. It's 3rd and 7. Pass to Diggs, 14 yards for a first down. Then they kind of got stopped a little bit here, and then they had to punt, but they chewed time off the clock. This is the drive I was talking about earlier. So they don't score points, but they chew up enough time off the clock. The Texans get the ball back, and they get a pass broken up by Gonzalez, and then Stroud gets sacked by Tonga on 4th and 8, and they're forced to punt. And so, Patriots get the ball back. They get a first down, then they got a punt. And then the Texans' last drive, they go for it on 4th down. They don't get anything. And Patriots run off the clock. Drake May, 16 of 27, 179 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. I forget how many yards he ran for. So, look, good, solid win. They beat a good defense. Love to see it. So they've beaten 2 good defenses in a row. The Chargers' defense was good, too. They sacked Drake May 5 times. These guys, I think, sacked Drake May 5 times, forced a couple, a bunch of fumbles. Listen, they got to do something about this. So clean it up, fellas, and let's go in Denver. We'll do a little bit of a preview for Sunday in the AFC Championship game at 3:00. I can guarantee you, because I definitely did not. I don't think many people around here had the Patriots back in April, May, July, August. Nobody around here had the Patriots going to the AFC Championship game on their bingo card. I can tell you right now. So enjoy it. Hopefully they'll get the job done. Denver lost their starting quarterback last week. Oh my God, his name is escaping me right now. Bo Nix, sorry. Bo Nix broke a bone in his ankle. He's out. So former Patriot Jarrett Stidham is going to be the starter this week. He hasn't started a game in 3 years. He did start a game for the Raiders when Josh McDaniel was the coach. I want to say he threw for like 360 yards or something, and I think he ended up winning the game. Everybody, listen, if the Patriots lose to Jarrett Stidham, that would be a disaster. And it's not out of the realm of possibility for it to happen because the Patriots do not play well in Denver. They're 0-4 in the playoffs in Denver. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, as great as they were, could not go to Denver and win. They were 0-3. And so, as I like to say to Frank, numbers don't lie. I worry about numbers. There's all kinds of sports betting numbers. There has never been a road team favored by as many points as the Patriots are favored in this championship game. The Patriots are favored by 5.5. It's never happened before. I think the line is down to 4.5 now. It may come down some more. Um, you know, I don't think the Patriots should be favored that highly anyway. I know that the numbers are like, they're winning by double digits and they're croaking people on the scoreboard. But the games have been a little closer than what the score suggests. I mean, it was a 9-3 game against the Chargers for a while until they got that late touchdown and put it away. So, 21-16. They're not blowing people's doors off, even though the score looks like it is. But I will say this. Also, I remember, all the talk we had on here about how anemic the Patriots offense was the last couple of years, averaging like 13 points a game and so forth. And, with Josh McDaniels here, we said, hey, the Patriots have to average somewhere between 20 and 24 points a game. They can't be averaging 14, 16, 18. They got to be in the 20s. Well, I didn't realize until I looked. The Patriots actually scored the second most points in the league at 28.8. So, listen, they're putting points up. And defense wins championships, and the Patriots defense is playing championship caliber defense. So, my hope is that they'll keep that going up in Denver. There's comments from the coach of Denver, Sean Payton, mumbled some kind of comment about, the Denver fans will get an extra week to rest their voice before the Super Bowl. Kind of a shot. They asked Vrabel about it. He poo-pooed it. But I don't know. Every time the Patriots get stuff like that, it's bulletin board material to me that these guys think they're going to the Super Bowl. And so I'm hoping the Patriots use it as fuel for themselves. And this is their opportunity to take advantage of having an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. So let's go Patriots. And as you can see, I have my old 54 Teddy Bruschi jersey. I dug out of the mothballs. So let's go. All right, let me switch gears before I run out of time now. I've already over-talked the Patriots. Whoops. Where'd it go? Come on now. Really? Hold on. More technical difficulty. Bear with me. Jeez. We're going to move on to... Oh, boy. Where did this go? Okay, I didn't want that. I didn't want that either. Oh, Jesus. Really? There we go. Man. Where is it? Right here. All right, sorry. I'm having some issues over here. Let's see. Let's go to the Celtics. They went 3-1 last week. They beat Miami. They beat Miami. They beat Atlanta. They lost to Detroit. Oh, not that. Listen, get out of the way. Here we go. They lost to Detroit and they beat Indiana yesterday. So they against Miami, they were behind by 11 at the end of the first quarter. They were not playing well. They were in Miami for that game. But Anthony Simons came off the bench, had 39 points. He was 7 of 16 from 3-point range. Jalen Brown got 27 points. Hauser got 17. Derek White, he's having a really bad year shooting. I don't know what it's making me think something's wrong with him. 1 of 7, 0 for 3 from 3. He hasn't been the same guy. I hope I'm wrong, but I can't tell by watching him if something's wrong with him physically or if all these misses are just mental, because he's in kind of a slump. And I said it last week, and he's scaring me. He's reminding me too much of Marcus Smart. Um, so I'm kind of hoping he gets out of that. Um, the team as a team, they shot 13 of 39 from three. Not good enough. Uh, I think they are shooting a few less here and there. Um, so we'll see. But a good win. From being down 11 at the end of the first quarter, come back and win the way they did. It's a good win down there. Miami's a tough team. They play the Celtics tough. They're very well coached, and the Celtics. They're getting their crap together, which is a good sign. Next game they played at Atlanta. They beat them 132 to 106. I don't even think it was as close as that. They were up 30. They were up 82 to 51 at the half. They scored 52 points in the second quarter. I mean, talking about getting slaughtered. 117 to 74 after three quarters. I mean, they're up by 40-something points. Jaylen Brown, 41 points. Sam Hauser, 30 points. All of his points came on threes. He made 10 3-pointers. He was 10 for 21 from three. As a team, they were 22 of 52 from three. They just shot the lights out in that game. Atlanta really had no chance. I don't know what was going on there, but the Celtics were shooting the lights out, and, it was a pretty easy win for them, which is nice. I think they need a few of those. They need a few more of those, I should say, before Jason Tatum comes back. Next game they play at Detroit. They lose 104-103. Now, listen, they were up 29-26 after the first quarter. They fell behind and got outscored, and they were down by 8 at the half. And the way they were playing, they were making sloppy passes. They were turning the ball over. There was a play when a guy on Detroit, the ball was going towards the corner, and he did one of these and grabbed the ball and threw it over his head backwards. It went right to one of their guys, and they put it in for a basket. And I was like, you know what? This ain't going to be their night. At the half, I shut it off and went to bed. I'm like, they're not winning this game. They don't have it today. And I woke up and I was surprised to see that they only lost by 1 point and that Jaylen Brown actually had a chance to win the game on the last shot. So kudos to them for coming back, because they played like crap in the first half. They were terrible. I didn't like the way they were playing. I didn't like what I saw. It was too sloppy. A lot of turnovers, a lot of bad passes. They just couldn't do anything. Jaylen Brown, 32 points, 11 rebounds. Pritchard, 17 points. He was 3 for 6 from three. Sam Hauser, 16 points, 4 of 7 from three. As a team, they were 13 for 41 from three. But without those two guys, they would have been in the 20s. And again, Derek White was 1 for 11 in the game and 0 for 6 from three. So, two games out of three where his shooting is just, abysmal. And if they're going to win regularly, they need him to pick it up. They need him to score something. He's got to get double digits. He's got to get between 10 and 15 points a game. And his shooting has to be better. He can't be like that. He can't be 1 for 11 and 0 for 6. That's too much Marcus Smart or Al Horford like. So I hope they figure it out. And then against Indiana, last night, 119 to 104. They were up by 20 at the half. I was watching this game. They had the lead. It got whittled down to like 13 or whatever. I thought they were going to blow it because that's the habit they have, but they did not allow it. They got some buckets back and got up to like 17, and didn't let them close the gap. I think the young guys were in. I think Shireman, Gaza, Walsh, maybe Gonzalez. There's a bunch of those guys, the second unit there, were in the game, and they were hustling, and they didn't let them crawl back in. Now, the Celtics were 12 of 31 from three for 39%. That's decent. If you're around 40%, that's not bad. Indiana was 12 for 43, 27%. That's terrible. Um, um, I think the young guys really did a good job in that game. Jaylen Brown led the way again with 30 points. Neemias Queta, 17 points. Good game for him. Hauser had 17. Gaza had 8 points and 6 rebounds off the bench. He was hustling. He made a few baskets and got some rebounds for them. Again, Indiana had 8 or 9 wins. They beat you last week 98-95. That never should have happened. And I think they learned their lesson, not letting them do that again. So that was huge to see that. I would say good news on the Celtics front. Jaylen Brown was named as an all-star starter for the first time in his career. That's nice to see, considering some of the blackballing, as we'll call it, with being snubbed from the Olympics and so forth. He's played like a number one guy in Jason Tatum's absence. He's really done a good job overall. And good for him. And so you got two. I don't even know if you can call him one and 1A anymore. You kind of got two number ones. He's proven that he can be the number one guy. He's done a good job. I commend him. I think, and so, me and Frank talked on here before. The 3 years we've been doing this show early on, in the first year or two, people were talking about trading Jaylen Brown until they won the championship when he won the MVP in the conference finals and the NBA finals MVP. So, listen, he's a good player. He's a good two-way player. He plays hard, plays the game the right way. His leadership is showing. I don't want to see him run out of town. But the way that this league works, if the salary cap gets to be too much, then sometimes the guys end up getting traded. Now, I know teams, and the Celtics did it too. The teams load up. They try to get the big three. They have, 2 or 3 guys making, $30 million a year or whatever. And they build it that way. I think that the Celtics are going to have 2 guys and should try to keep them both here. And you would have to, if you were going to trade Jaylen Brown, you would have to get somebody like Giannis back. Giannis, the guy from Milwaukee, the center. That's the only way you can trade Jaylen Brown. You got to get a number one guy back. You can't just trade him for a bunch of picks or whatever. And the league doesn't work that way anyways. But nonetheless, he's really done a good job. So kudos to him. Let's move on before we run out of time here. Let's do weekly poll questions. So before we do that, I do need to mention, the Celtics are back in first place. They're in first place in the division. They're second in the East, in the Eastern Conference. They're a game and a half up on the Knicks. The Knicks have been going through a slump. So, considering there's no Jason Tatum, I didn't have them first in the division. I had them 4th or 5th in the conference. So they're doing a good job. Good for them. Let's see. Poll questions. If the Patriots lose to the Denver Broncos with Jarrett Stidham at QB, is the Patriots season a failure, as some in the media have suggested? Yes, you can't lose to that bum, 16%. No, they went much further than expected, 84%. I think given where they were, you're talking about 4 wins each of the last 2 years, and they made the championship game. Nobody had it. They had a good year. They won 14 games. They won the division. It's not a failure, in my opinion. Failure to me would have been 6 wins. Even if they had gotten 8 or 9 wins where I had them, I don't think it would have been a failure. It would have been disappointing. if they had 8 or 9 wins and they were losing games the same way that they've been losing them over the last couple of years. Failure. 14 wins, AFC Championship game. It can't be a failure. It's not a failure. Sorry. All right. Weekly predictions. Last week I only had one. I said the Patriots would beat the Texans, but it would be low scoring. Wrong, because the Patriots beat them by double digits. They did win the game, but I didn't put a score on. I just said, 19-16, 16-13. That's where I thought the game was going to go. Didn't go that way. And let's see. Where are my predictions for this week? Oh, didn't I put them in here? Oh, they're down here, I think. No? Oh, come on. I had them in here. Oh, right here. There they are. Sorry, did not have my good eye open. Patriots will beat Denver this week. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a 3-point game. I'll just say that. I'm not going to do the score, 23-20, 23-17, 24-20. I mean, pick whatever 3-point, 27-24, whatever. But I think it's going to be a 3-point game, and we're going to get the W. I think that they'll get to Stidham a little bit, and hold them down. I think Alex Steves for the Bruins gets off the schneid, finally gets a goal in these next games he's got coming up this week. He's got to score. I don't see justifying that contract they gave him if he doesn't start scoring some goals. These are not right. That one is right. Okay, I guess I only have two. I have two others for the Celtics and Patriots, but I don't have them in front of me, so I guess that's it. No more predictions on. I'm tired of being wrong anyway. So that is the show. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for voting in the polls. Thanks for commentary. Thanks for the support. Be sure to check us out on YouTube, and we'll see you guys next week. Go Patriots.